We look like we've got Mr. Joey Kent joining us right now. I'm going to bring him in. Joey.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Joey. You hear me okay?
I hear you fine. How are you?
I'm doing really good, sir. Wanted to get right into it with you and talk a little bit about the ball game yesterday. I didn't know if you got a chance to see Alabama and Tennessee go down. Looked like a pretty good game there for the first three quarters.
Yeah, it really was, man. And the final score really it's not indicative of how that game was played. I was actually at an event last night and I was watching it on my phone. So I didn't get a chance to hear, the commentators and all that good stuff. And I was trying to keep up with it. But I watched a little bit. I recorded it last night, so I watched a little bit of it this morning. So I like the way Tennessee played, man. It didn't seem like the last couple of years where we just knew it was just going to be a slaughter, right? I think the guys came in ready. The coaching staff really prepared them to compete against Alabama, but we just ran out of manpower, right? So we all know Alabama is they have really quality depth, right? And they have really good frontline players, and they proved it throughout the ball game. So I'm proud of the effort that Tennessee displayed last night. They're going to build off this. Now, hopefully, they'll gain some confidence, right? They can play with anybody in this conference, but we still have to get more. We still have to get better players, and once we do that, we'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think I agree with everything you say, and I really. Rico and I have been talking the last few weeks how, the only problem that we've seen, or the biggest problem we've seen, is the depth. The coaching, to me, I went to the South Carolina game and was just blown away by the way that they came out. I mean, the game plan looked solid. The scheme looked amazing. And heck, I think it was 38-0, before South Carolina got on the board, and just really good scheming and game planning by Coach Heupel. I think he's a guy that can actually put the right guys on the field, and kind of determine talent. But with the attrition and with the guys leaving, transferring, and obviously 36 players lost from last year's team, I think that the depth is probably the biggest problem. But watching the last 2 weeks, I really think we can say that the team's moving in the positive direction. Don't you think?
I 100% agree. And, everything is about recruiting now, right? So, we lost, like you said, close to 40 players through the transfer portal. Guys are looking at high school guys and guys that are playing on different teams now. They're looking at this program in a different light, I would think, right? If I'm a high school offensive player or defensive player, man, you have to look at it with some excitement. And you have an opportunity to play, too, because, we only have 70 scholarship players, and we're playing some walk-ons on special teams. So if you're a high school athlete, junior, senior, I would definitely put Tennessee on the list if you want to play some really good football in a school that has ton of tradition. Like you said, the coaching staff are putting the guys in the right positions, right, to make plays on both sides of the ball. We talk a lot about Heupel's offense, but look at the defense, man. We've given up some plays here and there, especially against Ole Miss. Corrales, he's doing that against anybody, right? And he put up a lot of yards against us, but just overall, the defense is looking a lot better. We just need to get some more guys, man. And once we do that, man, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And talking about all the players that we lost, and how the game's changed. Obviously you played on this team and you dominated for so long, and the game was what it was. But now, things are different. And talk to me a little bit about how you think the game has changed and how the transfer portal can help a team like Tennessee get right and maybe fix some of the things with their depth and with some of their positional woes.
I think mainly with the transfer portal, you can get better faster. Because when I played, obviously you didn't have that, so you just counted on your recruiting, and you had to count on guys developing, right? And developing is still key. I think this staff has done obviously a better job of developing the talent that they have and putting guys in the right positions. But now you can go out and like say it's Spencer Rattler, right? Who's probably not going to see the field unless the starter gets hurt. Like
Yeah.
he's kind of in no man's land right now. So a guy like that, not saying he would consider Tennessee, but a guy like that that's super talented, that wants to lead that program. Obviously, Tennessee would love to have a player like that, but you can get good really fast with a player like that. He was a Heisman, candidate coming into the season, and a guy like that can change anybody's program, right? You put him in the right situation. So, you take the transfer portal, combine it with, high school athletes, you can get good really fast. Look at Kentucky. Like Kentucky has kind of done it the right way. They've recruited well, really good coaching, and they've added some guys, especially in the quarterback position, and it's made them, a top 15 program right now. And you can get good really fast, man. That's what Tennessee fans are hoping for. We've been saying next year, and we're young for the last 10, 15 years. I think Tennessee fans are excited now versus the last couple 3 or 4 years. You kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and with the guys and the coaching staff that we have now.
I agree. I think this is the first coaching staff that we've had here in Knoxville in a long time that looks like they know what they're doing, and I've been very impressed. First off, like I mentioned before, with picking the players. I mean, Joe Milton started at the beginning of the year, but I think he had to see what he had, and he put Joe out there, he put Hooker out there, and obviously Hooker has proven to be a really, really good player.
Yeah, and Nathan, another point, I mean to cut you off. Another point, man, is these guys seem like they're having fun.
Yeah.
And they like playing for the staff, right? They enjoy each other. I think that was one of the biggest keys when I was playing, man. We, the guys on our team, we genuinely loved each other and wanted to play for each other. And we held each other accountable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not on the inside of that program. I'm just like everybody else outside looking in, but just body language, excitement, being happy for your teammate. You can see that. Like that comes off the screen. Like, 3 or 4 years ago, the quarterback got hit, got sacked, and the offensive line wouldn't even help him up. Right?
Yeah, just stared at him on the ground.
Yeah. I mean, that's that type of stuff you kind of pay attention to. But you see the way they play, you see the way they get excited when somebody else does well, or somebody makes a play. That bodes well for the program, because it shows that they care.
Yeah,
it shows that they care about each other, and it shows that they care about the staff.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And one thing that I was talking about a little bit earlier on the show, and Rico and I have been talking about all year, is there's been a little bit of maybe 3 or 4 teams in the country in college football have kind of been dominating the past few years. Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, maybe even throw Oklahoma in there. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I've been saying, and I want you to shoot a hole in this if you think, but I feel like this past year kind of leveled the playing field a little bit and created some more parity, because the free COVID year, a lot of teams were able to bring back guys for an additional free year and improve their football team, in certain positions if they needed to. Whereas, Alabama lost all those guys to the NFL. Ohio State lost all those guys. Clemson still lost all those guys, 10, 12 guys to the NFL. And some of these other teams were able to catch up. You see any truth in that statement at all?
Yeah, some validity to that. I mean, look at a team that we played, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a team with a lot of talent, but that also has a lot of experience, starting with the quarterback Pickens. Yeah. To me, man, he's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. I don't know how he's going to project as far as on the next level, but he's so solid. He makes all the plays, all the throws, and he's so steady for that program. He's the reason why, along with some of our own mistakes against them, he's the reason why we lost, right? I mean, he's the main reason. He made all the plays that they needed to make to beat Tennessee. Again, we helped them, right? We missed some throws. In my opinion, we should have been up, 14, 21 points in the first quarter. Missed some throws, but he brought that team back. He was steady. There's definitely some validity to what you're saying, man. It's a lot of experience in college football. Look at Kentucky too. Same thing, man. And hopefully Tennessee can benefit from some of that as well.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the quarterback at Pittsburgh, he's a guy who's been in those situations and had the spotlight thrust on him, to win games. And we saw that in the Tennessee game. We saw it yesterday
Yeah.
when they
Oh,
were ahead
100%.
against Clemson.
Yeah.
And he went out there. They had the ball. There was about 4 minutes left, and he ran the clock out.
Yeah.
Because he knew how to take care of the football and how to get the ball to guys, his guys that he trusts. And that was really impressive. And, another thing I wanted to touch with you a little bit out on is, obviously 2019, LSU, we all saw Joe Burrow transferred down. Everything went right. They had one of the greatest seasons in college football history. 20 months later, they fired their coach. Is patience gone from college football? Because it seems to me, that's the one thing I worry about. We see this Coach Heupel. He's shown that he looks like he really can coach. But, will they give him enough time? And, that's one thing that I really see as a potential problem throughout all of college football is there is no more patience. You agree with that?
Well, to a point, I think with Tennessee's situation, I think he signed a 5 or 6 year deal. So that shows me they're going to give him some time. You have an AD that obviously that hired him, that believes in him. So that's gonna give him more of a chance. With LSU, I mean, that's just a different beast. They're a top 3 program. If you just kind of look at the talent in the state, the championships they've won recently. I think with Coach O, I think it was more having to do things that were happening off the field. I think there's a lot of stuff behind that, right? And I think all that stuff is going to eventually come out. There's stuff that's out there now.
Yeah.
I just think the program is at a place where they just can't. They're fearful if they keep him at the helm, it'll just continue to go down and go down a path where they won't be able to recover as fast. So they want to cut ties now, say thank you for what you've done. Obviously, they're going to pay him his money and kind of start fresh, man. And I mean, there is some, SEC, man, it's tough. I mean, college football is tough to be a head coach. You get paid, really well, but there's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
Is there another profession in the world that you get paid to fail? Because I keep trying to find someone that'll pay me
sign me up
$1 million to not work. And it just blows me away that these guys, if everything goes right, they get extensions, they get paid. But if they do a bad job and things fall apart, well, then they get paid $17 million to go away. How does that come off?
It's a great profession. But I do, I know we're kind of joking, but I do have some friends that are in, not necessarily head coaches, but are assistant coaches in college football. And it's a grind, man. It's a 365, like every single day I equate it to like dating, 15 people at the same time, because you have to call and text every single day, with these recruits in high school. Like you have to call and text and make sure they're getting attention. This is every single day of the year, right?
Oh yeah.
Outside the dead period, whatever dead periods that they have, but it's a grind. They get paid well, man, but it's one of those deals, man. I couldn't do it because it takes a person that just absolutely love coaching. You have to love coaching to be in this, especially in college. That's why you see guys go from college to NFL, because you get the same coaching on a higher level. And you don't have to deal with the recruiting aspect of it, and you have more time with your family.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and it is a grind for sure, and these guys are paid accordingly. And let's be honest, college football brings in a lot of money, so I mean, these guys should get paid. But I wanted to piggyback off of that, because now they have this NIL, and where some of these players are being able to benefit off of that. And I wanted to get your feelings on that. And me and Rico have talked about it on this show a lot, and both of us are all for it. I think these kids should be able to start benefiting from it, but it also changes a lot of things. And wanted to get your thoughts on the new NIL rules and some of these kids starting to be able to get to make a little money.
Man, I love it, man. It's something that's overdue. I think the only thing that I'm fearful of is hopefully these programs, these universities have protocols in place where they teach kids financial literacy. I couldn't imagine, having $10,000 or $20,000 in my bank account as in college.
Yeah.
I,
It wouldn't be that long, that's for sure. If
I got into a lot of trouble with zero money in my bank account. I couldn't imagine, $20, $30, $50,000 in college, and you have adults that can't manage that type of money. Just think about a 18-year-old kid having that type of access to funds. So again, I'm all for it. I love it. I'm hopeful that these institutions have people that's guiding these young men and these young women on how to manage their money, taxes, just everything that comes with having that type of money in their bank account, man. But I'm all for it, man. I hope these guys get as much money as they can, because I think it's overdue.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's been the same people making millions of dollars for 50 years off all this college football stuff. So why not give some back to, what the people are really going to see every Saturday? They're going to see the players on the field. I mean, I know the coaches are a big part of it and they get paid handsomely, but let's be honest, the folks are showing up to see the athletic talent that the players possess. So wanted to let you talk a little bit too about what you got going on, man. Obviously you got your new show. Tell us a little bit about 3 the Pro Way.
Yeah, man, it's a podcast called 3 the Pro Way. It's me, myself, Kevin Dyson, and Todd Campbell. We've been friends for over 25 years, man. We just kind of talk about transitions from career. Like we typically have athletes and entertainers and people from all across business, the aspect of it, and we just get them on and let them tell their story about their transition from like professional sports to what they're doing now, and all the things that led them up to that, to being successful in both of those areas, man. We've been having a good time with it. We typically release these podcasts every Monday at 8 o'clock a.m. So we're excited about keeping this thing going, with our future guests.
Nice. And tell us too about that legendary play too. I've seen those prints, man.
Yeah, man. Cool. Well, thank you, man. I feel like I'm doing a promo now.
Hey, you gotta tell people about it.
I appreciate it, man. It's called That Legendary Play. It's a business that my business partner and I started last year during COVID, and people always ask me about play number 1, and I would always kind of talk people through it, like doing an X's and O's version of how the play kind of broke down. And that's where the idea came from. And we were like, okay, let's just put this on a print and just see where we can go from it. And then obviously Tennessee has other legendary plays, and so we did that same way. Then we started thinking like, well, other programs have obviously legendary plays too. So it's 18 by 24 print. We have 18 schools that we've done prints for. We're officially licensed through Tennessee, Florida State, Ole Miss, a couple other universities. We're trying to expand that, but we've been having fun with it, man. It's fun to kind of do these plays and put them on your wall and kind of talk about it, and from a nostalgia standpoint, man. So we're excited about where this is going to go.
Nice. Well, I love it, man. I love all you're doing. I appreciate you coming on today and giving us a few minutes and giving us some insights. You were an unbelievable player. I loved watching you play, and even a better guy, man. I appreciate you coming on today.
Hey, I got a question for you. What's up with UCLA? I like the number. What's up with UCLA?
Yeah, that's why I rocked it. Now, I wear game-worn jerseys. I'm a big game-worn jersey guy. So every day on the show, I rock out a brand new game-worn jersey. Just a different team, different player. And I'm running out of them right now. We've had a bunch of shows this year, so I'm running out. I've got hundreds of NFL ones, but I've got to increase my college a little bit. So
the reason why UCLA was one of my we played them twice when I was at Tennessee. That was one of my favorite teams to play, because it was just playing against a Pac-12 team. Yeah. Back then UCLA was, they were a pretty strong program, man. It was actually my first game starting out at the Rose Bowl against UCLA.
Yep, I remember that. I remember that game, and I try and collect only like the big time, beautiful jerseys like USC, Tennessee, Alabama, UCLA. The old school, colors and programs that have kind of kept the same uniforms throughout.
Those jerseys never go out of style. UCLA, USC, Alabama, Penn State. Those jerseys are iconic, man. They never go out of style.
Heck yeah, man. I've got the, I do this and I've got my regular job, and then I've got Schmidt Souvenirs where I buy, sell, trade game worn jerseys all
awesome,
the time.
Man.
That's my passion, man. I love game worn jerseys, and I'm one of the crazy fools that wears them, as well as.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite?
Well, I'm originally from Ohio, so I'm a big, I moved down here when I was a kid, and then I moved back to Ohio, so I'm a big, Tennessee and Ohio State fan, and I've got a jersey from the 2014 national championship season, Curtis Grant. So that's.
Hey, we have a Ohio State. We actually have 2 Ohio State prints, man. Just send me your address and I'll send them to you.
I will do it, man. I will do it. I appreciate you coming on, Joey.
Thank you for your time, man. Anytime.
All right, buddy. I'll stay in touch with you, and I'll shoot you a message after we get done.
Sounds good, man. Y'all take
All right,
care.
buddy. Have a great one. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. See you.